Welcome to the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, the opera house of Los Angeles.
And in this video, we're going to take you on a tour and show you some of the awesome things you'll find here at the pavilion.
Now, you may be asking, why is this wonderful place called the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion? Well, Dorothy Chandler was an actual person.
And a pavilion is just a fancy word for a building with lots of open doors. It's used for parties or concerts or
Operas.
That's right. You see, Dorothy Chandler, this real person, wanted very much for Los Angeles to have a spectacular theater. So she brought people together to plan and build and raise money. And voila, a spectacular opera house to see performances and hear music. Come on.
Here we are inside the theater in the orchestra section of the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. We are actually in the very front rows of the orchestra section. Do you have any idea why they call it an orchestra section? Could it be because it's right up against where the orchestra plays? Absolutely. We are at the edge of the pit. It is actually called the orchestra pit. A lot of musicians make jokes about having to work and play in such a pit. This is where an orchestra of anywhere from 25 to over 60 players sets up their instruments, their music stands, their stand lights, and make incredible, beautiful, dramatic music happen. Want to know a secret? The pit is actually an elevator. Sometimes the floor of the pit is at the same level as a stage, like you see right now. Sometimes the floor is at the same level as the orchestra section, but more often than not, it is about 10 feet below the stage. Being that far down, it's hard for the orchestra members to see the performers on stage. And it's even harder for the performers on stage to hear the orchestra when they're singing as loud as they can. Putting all these variables together and keeping them together is a very difficult job. That is why we need a conductor. Conductors usually stand on a podium inside the pit at the very edge so that the performers on stage and below the stage can see them and follow them. It is a super important job keeping all of the amazing artists together during a performance. You know what? Do you want to learn how to become a conductor? I can give you a really quick lesson in a basic 4-count pattern. Are you ready? You're gonna raise your right hand up. Oh, and pretend like you're holding a baton. A baton is the stick that a conductor holds. So ready? Inhale as you go up, and then 1 when you go down. Ready? 1. Then you're gonna go 2 to the left. So you're gonna go 1, 2. 3 is gonna be to the right, and 4 is gonna be up. So ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Oh, wait. I'm conducting with 2 hands now, which is a little harder, but I think you can do it. You ready? We're gonna go up, down, in, out. Up, down, in, out. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And bravo! Or should I say bravi tutti to you all, which means congrats, y'all. You are now ready to be honorary conductors here at LA Opera.
Oh, that was great. Right now, we're in the Grand Hall, and it is spectacular, don't you think?
It should be called Spectacular Hall, man.
So, how do you like your opera house?
I know, it may seem a little imposing, maybe even overwhelming at first, but it was built just for you.
It was built for the people of Los Angeles with the hopes that new young audiences would find it. New young audiences. Oh, I think that must be you people. You look young. You look new. Hello, darling.
Let's show you some of the cool things you can find here at the pavilion.
Hello, and welcome to a very special part of the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion, which is called the Founders Circle. This is where the founders themselves would have been seated to watch an opera, and maybe even Dorothy Chandler herself. It's a great place to get a really good idea of what's going on stage. You're close enough to see the performers' faces and expressions, but you're also far away enough to get the bigger picture of the opera and hear the music wash over you. Frankly, it's also a place where people like to see and be seen. This is where all the fancy opera donors and foreign dignitaries would be seated. Now, we're here in the Founders Circle, and the section below us is called the Orchestra Section. That's right on the level of the stage. Above us, we have another balcony, which is called the Loge. And then there are 2 balconies even above the Loge, Balcony 1 and Balcony 2. If you added up all the seats in this theater together, it would make 3,100 seats. That's a lot of people. Now, if we look at the stage, we can see that we've got our beautiful golden curtain. Sometimes that curtain is there when the audience walks in before the opera. Other times, we've already got the curtain raised and the set has been revealed even before the opera begins. And still other times, you might find that we have illuminated screens that show different projections, almost like a movie, that helps you tell the story a little bit better. The most important part of the theater for any artist is the proscenium arch. This is the frame of the stage, and at the very top of the proscenium arch is a little white screen. That's where we have our super titles, and the super titles help us know exactly what's happening in the story, even if we don't speak whatever language it's being sung in. What a relief.
At some time during your visit, you're welcome to come down here to the lower lobby. Many patrons of the opera come down here during performance nights to use the ladies' room or the men's room. But if they take a moment, often they're treated to something special in our display cases. These displays of costumes and props change throughout the season. You can also find models of old sets and photographs from past productions. You never know what new things you might find when you come downstairs to the lower lobby. Did you find anything interesting? I'm sure you did.
Eureka! They have found it!
You did it!
Congratulations, you have found us.
We should call them the Founders.
Actually, the founders are the people who got together to make this building happen. The founders, like Dorothy Chandler, got together to give Angelinos someplace wonderful to find. And here you are.
To find music.
Stories.
Dance.
Put all those things together and they make
Opera! I like to explain opera as a story told through music.
Yeah, a big story told through music. Or a story told through big music. Oh, with big orchestras and big sets and big dancing. Oh, musicals can be big.
Yeah.
Orchestras can be big, but opera is really, really, really big!
And opera has a lot of really big emotions too. Right, Ash? I think that we should call you young audience people the Finders, because you had the curiosity to find this spectacular place. Frankly, this place needs you. We need you.
See, if you don't come to the opera house, eventually no one will come.
It would be very quiet.
It would be empty, lonely.
It would be weird. So please make this your opera house.
Or I won't have anyone to sing so high for.
Who can we fight, be dramatic, and die for?
You're the other half of the art that we cry for.
You are the audience. We need an audience. At first it may seem formal, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la,
But soon it will be normal, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Please know that you're invited to be a bit excited. You have done the finding, so we will keep reminding
that you found us. Your destiny is clear to see. This is all serendipity. Your presence here is meant to be. Let's sing, let's sing, let's sing.
We're grateful you're discovering. We need you clamoring. We need an audience to bring an opera to life.
We're grateful you're discovering. We need you clamoring. We need an audience to bring an opera to life. So cheers to the finders of opera. Some stories are romantic, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
Others are so frantic, tra-la-la-la-la-la-la.
But any kind of story, when some takes on a glory, we need to feel we're sharing, or else we'd be despairing.
But you found us. Your destiny is clear to see. This is all serendipity. Your presence here is meant to be. Let's sing, let's sing, let's sing.
We thank you all for listening, listening while we sing. We need an audience to bring an opera to life.
We thank you all for listening, listening while we sing. We need an audience to bring an opera to life.
Join us next time when we share some great opera audience skills to help you have a great time with us here at LA Opera.
Ciao for now.
Bye.